Hi, and thank you for tuning in to Gavin Lon Digital. I'm Gavin Lon. In the previous part of this course, i.e. Part 3, we looked at the database design for the backend storage facility that we are going to implement for our MVC web application. In Part 2 of this course, we looked at the technologies that can be used for the creation of our MVC web application in this course. In this video, we are going to create the project infrastructure for our web application through Visual Studio 2019. I will be demonstrating this on a Windows 10 platform. We are going to generate the Asp.NET Identity database tables that will be used as an integral part of the membership aspect of our web application. Basically, the membership aspect entails a user registering personal information with the system, which means the user becomes a member of the application and is then able to consume the free content provided to members through the web application. Please view the first part of this course for a demonstration of the prototype of the web application that we are going to develop in this course. A demonstration of the application from the perspective of a user who is not a member, a user who is a member, and a user who is an administrator is provided in this video, i.e. Part 1 of this course. These three types of users, i.e. admin user, member, or non-member of our web application, are made clear in the first part of this course. Please view the first three parts of this course before viewing this video. Links to the relevant videos are available below in the description. In this video, we'll use the ASP.NET MVC project template to create our MVC project using Visual Studio 2019. We'll use Entity Framework Core data migrations to create our database and generate the necessary ASP.NET Identity tables needed for the membership aspect of our web application. Through code-first Entity Framework Core data migrations, we'll extend the ASP.NET Identity table to include custom fields that we will need for the registration process in our web application. For content like this and much more, please consider subscribing, and please ring the bell so that you'll be notified of future content. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It will be greatly appreciated. As I have already mentioned, I will be creating this web application on a Windows 10 platform. So let's start by creating our ASP.NET Core MVC web project through Visual Studio 2019. Let's launch Visual Studio 2019. So we can use the drop-down lists at the top of our dialog box and filter by language, so C#, and platform. So all platforms. And let's select Web from this drop-down to filter our project template list on those project templates that are web-related. Great, and right at the top of our list we have the ASP.NET Core Web Application project template, which is the one we want. So let's select this project template and click the Next button. Let's name our project Tech Tree MVC Web Application. So in this dialog box, we can choose what type of ASP.NET web application we wish to create. So let's choose ASP.NET Web App in brackets Model View Controller. Notice here on the right, we are able to choose to automatically include an authentication facility within our application. At the moment, it is defaulting to no authentication. We want to include ASP.NET Identity in our project. So let's click on the Change link here. And you can see in this dialog box, we have a number of options from which we can choose. Let's choose the Individual User Accounts option and click the OK button. Great, and let's click the Create button. Excellent. So now we have chosen to include identity in our web application. This means certain files and code associated with the identity technology have been automatically generated for us to make our lives a little bit easier for integrating the identity technology with our web application. If we go to the appsettings.json file, i.e. our configuration file, we can see a connection string has by default been included in this file. So we discussed the technologies that we are going to use to develop our web application in the second part of this course. If you have not yet viewed the second part of this course, a link to this video has been made available below in the description. So in this course, I'm using SQL Server for the back-end storage facility. So let's invoke SSMS, or SQL Server Management Studio. And of course, we have not yet created the database for our application. One of the files that has automatically been generated for us because we have chosen to include ASP.NET Identity in our project is what is known as a migration. We can find the migration files in the migrations folder, which is contained within the data parent folder. When we run this migration file, our database will be generated. Not only will the relevant database be created, but this migration file will generate the ASP.NET Identity database tables within the relevant database. So let's alter our connection string so that it points to the correct server and names our database appropriately. The name of my server is Gavin Lon's PC. Yours, no doubt, will be something different, so let's appropriately update our connection strings. Let's name the database for our application TechTree. To connect to SQL Server, we are using Windows authentication, so we can leave this part of our connection string as trusted_connection equals to true. Now note that our application knows how to use our connection string through code that has been automatically generated for us in a very important file named startup.cs. This file has two important public methods in it, one here named configure services and the other named configure. I am deliberately glossing over a lot of technical detail regarding the startup.cs file. This file will be properly explained in upcoming videos. For now, let's have a quick look at the configure services method. So the code here tells Entity Framework Core what type of database our application is using, e.g. SQL Server, SQLite, etc. And you can see the code here explicitly refers to SQL Server. And code to read our configuration settings is automatically provided to us here. Let's change the options.signin.requireConfirm account to equal false. Don't worry for now about why we are doing this. The details regarding this code will be explained in more detail in upcoming videos. So here we have a migration file that has been automatically generated for us. This file contains the code for generating the ASP.NET Identity tables. If the database at the time of when this file is run has not yet been generated, the database will be created for us. You can see that this file is in a folder named Migrations. This is where files related to our data migrations will be stored. Great, so to add a migration and update our database, we need to execute two commands that we can run using a facility that is built into Visual Studio. So to access this facility, click Tools, NuGet Package Manager, and then Package Manager Console. The two commands that I've just mentioned are add-migration and update-database. The add-migration command generates the code for updating the relevant database. The update-database command runs the migration code that has not yet been executed against the relevant database. The relevant migration code is generated through the add-migration command. So ASP.NET Identity has already created a migration for us here. So to run this migration, we don't need to run the add-migration command. This migration has already been generated. We can run the update-database command in the Package Manager console window, and this will run the relevant migration code to create our TechTree database and add the identity tables. Before we run the update database command, let's first look at SQL Server Management Studio, and you can see that our TechTree database has not yet been created. So let's run the update-database command like this. And now look at SQL Server Management Studio. And look at that, our tech tree database has now been created. And if we expand the tech tree database node, we can see that the identity tables have been automatically created for us. So now here we have the columns for the Asp Net Users table, which is a table used for storing certain personal information about the members of our application. The information that is stored in this table for the application members are also used for authentication and authorization purposes. But we also want columns for a first name field, a last name field, and address-related fields. These fields are currently not provided for us in our Asp Net Users database table. So how can we add these fields to the relevant identity database table? We can use Entity Framework Core code-first migrations to add these columns to the Asp Net Users database table. So to do this, let's first create a class named ApplicationUser in the ApplicationDBContext.cs file. Let's open the file named ApplicationDBContext.cs. This file contains our database context code. The database context code will be explained in more detail in upcoming videos. So let's create our ApplicationUser class. Let's include the columns we want to include in the Asp Net Users database table. First name as string, last name as string, address 1 as string, address 2 as string, and postcode as string. In order to let the ASP.NET Identity System know about our intention to extend the Asp Net Users table, we need to make a few code modifications. So over here we have a class named ApplicationDBContext. This is a very important class that is used by Entity Framework Core and enables code-first data migrations. Notice that the ApplicationDBContext class inherits from the IdentityDBContext class. This inheritance facilitates the code-first integration of ASP.NET Identity with our database. So to integrate our ApplicationUser class with the identity system, we can use generics and pass our ApplicationUser type as an argument to the IdentityDBContext class, like this. There's one last step that we need to take in order for our custom fields to be created as columns in the Asp Net Users database table. We need to go to the startup.cs class and replace the IdentityUser type passed in as the generic argument here with our ApplicationUser type that we have created to extend the identity system to include our custom fields, i.e. first name, last name, and the other address-related fields. Okay, so now we can create the migration code that will extend the identity system to include our custom fields. So let's launch the Package Manager console window from within Visual Studio. Let's then run the add-migration command. And we need to include a descriptive name here. After the add migration command, we must include a name for our migration. So let's give our migration a descriptive name, ExtendAspNetUsersTable, and then let's press enter. And you can see our migration code for extending the Asp Net Users table has been automatically generated for us successfully. So in order to apply our changes to the database, we need to now run the update-database command. So let's do that. Great. Let's look at our database. and you can see the new columns have been added to the Asp Net Users table. So we have successfully extended the identity system to include our custom fields through the use of code-first entity framework core data migrations. Excellent. So this video was practical in nature and served to demonstrate creating the infrastructure for our ASP.NET Core MVC web application. We created the ASP.NET Core MVC web application using Visual Studio 2019 on a Windows 10 platform. We created our database using Entity Framework Core data migrations. We also extended the Asp Net Users Identity table to include our custom fields using code-first Entity Framework Core data migrations. So in this video, we got our hands dirty and have now started building our web application. I needed to gloss over a lot of technical theory in terms of the code that is automatically generated for us through the MVC project template and identity system in order for us to gain momentum in the development of our application. We will go over the theory related to the infrastructure of our .NET Core web application in upcoming videos. Please don't worry if you are not yet clear on many of the concepts discussed and implemented in this video. We'll go into more detail in this regard in upcoming videos. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It will be greatly appreciated. Please consider subscribing for content like this and much more. And please ring the bell so that you'll be notified of future content. Please feel free to share this video with anyone you feel may gain value from its content. I really enjoy engaging with you in the comments section, so please feel free to share your thoughts with me in the comments section. The code created in this video can be downloaded from GitHub. Please see a link to the relevant GitHub repository below in the description. Thank you and take care.